Wow. What a way to start off the show. Yeah, I live it. And breathe. Yeah. What a tune. MindR. Yeah, you obviously know what you're doing. And I've really enjoyed every one of your tracks that you sent in. I like the fact that you have your own sound. So like, you know, I could hear an album of all of this and it would all sound very, yep, no music today. I'm a justice. No music. None. Yep. None. I'm only joking. It is part of an album that you're writing. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, there is music today. We're just doing it in a different format. So today is the demo drop. So what we do on the demo drop is we listen to people's music that they've made and we help each other to become better producers. So all the details are here, but it has to be your own work. Yeah, thank you, MindR. It's been a pleasure to be able to showcase your work on here. Very, very nice. I don't know a lot about the ways that you do things, what DAW you use, not that that's really important. I like the rawness of it. There's not much that I can really add to it in terms of the, because of the style of it. Ableton and Serum, perfect. So because it's not a genre that I am, you know, massively well versed in. However, I do understand the importance of distortion and saturation in this genre. And there's a very fine line between, you know, clipping things to a point where things don't sound good and being able to be balanced about the approach. And what I hear is nice to my ears. It doesn't sound like you've overbaked anything. So, and that comes with experience with this style of music. And it's very similar to me is shrans, because there's a very fine line with shrans, and a lot of shrans is to do with being, you know, things being distorted and oversaturated, but you have to know how to do it properly. You have to know how to push things without it sounding blown out, and to keep the transients of stuff as well once you use saturation, because that's one of the things. Saturation, distortion will boost the harmonics in a sound and excite that sound. But at the same time, if you overdo it, you can end up losing the transients. So having that ability to be balanced about it, even maybe using like a parallel approach to some of the ways of doing things. And this is where I've been doing a bit of this today on one of my own projects, using a mixture between serial and parallel processing to get those kind of sounds and to have more control over those elements. Very, very important. Yeah, it is. But that's all part of the journey of it. Like the first couple of years of becoming a music producer is mainly about learning your DAW, plopping stuff in, having a little tinker, and learning about, you know, very much like DJing, really. You put a song on, you learn how to mix, and then you learn how to EQ, use your EQs to kind of like smoothly transition between one tune to another. And the same principles like that are applicable to when you first start to learn how to make music. You'll be using a lot of subtractive EQing, playing with knobs. Yes, Torin. Ha! There you go. That's how you make it in the biz. You got to play with knobs. I'll make you a star. MindR says, I'm big on clean signal flow. There you go. But yeah, it's a journey. So then after that, like years 3 to 20 could be to do with, you know, messing around with different workflow options, layering, like I say, parallel serial processing, whatever that could be, using stuff like Patcher. Patcher's amazing. Patcher's like, gives you the ability to be able to do things parallel and serial and have your own like signal flows for all kinds of things. But yeah, that requires you to start thinking about it in a different way. So it's like you have to juggle so many things in your mind. And if you don't know what you've done to a sound, it's very, very difficult to like kind of reverse engineer it back again. Yeah, and I find that sometimes when I've left a project for a while and I go back into it and I'm like, oh my God, I've stuck one of these filters on like on every single bus channel, but it was colouring the sound. I'm like, why the fuck did I do that? Like, and there's like a very different approach that you would have taken, you know, on some of your projects that you might open up from like 5 years ago or whatever. But yeah, it's all a very, very big learning curve. But yeah, finding your feet with all of that, and then getting it to a point where it sounds good. You know, that can take a while. Some people just get it straight away. But yeah, they're the lucky ones. It didn't come naturally to me to kind of like, because it is really like how your brain works. So you gotta give it some time. But I really do believe that if you learn one DAW inside out, then the rest of them will just be so similar. You just find stuff to be in different sub-menus, or there might be a different terminology for something. It's never that difficult as it is in the beginning. It gets different and it can be more intense, but you just keep pushing through. And once you have trained your brain to recognize that when it comes into a troubleshooting situation of, I don't know what to do in this instance, once you've trained your brain enough times to say, okay, let's work it out, and you try things, you're like, oh yes, I've got it, and you'll level up again and again. It gets easier to work through those moments of like scratching your head up. Why isn't it sounding big? Why isn't it sounding like I want it to sound? Why doesn't it sound like X, Y, and Z? And a lot of that can actually be in your own mind as well. That can be in your own head. So yeah, I just really appreciate what you're doing, MindR, and I look forward to hearing some more of the songs that you've done. Shall I play you my one? Shall I play you the one that I've been doing today? So I've been making some acid techno today as part of one of my tracks for my uni project. So I'm in the last push now of my masters. I've actually done some of the things that I was just talking about. I'd made like a rumble preset in Patcher to create like a rumble out of my kick drum. And I sometimes think that that's a good approach, is to make your rumble, if you're making that style of music, out of your existing kick. Because if it comes from that kick, if it's come from the source material, it's a lot easier for you to get it to actually fit with everything else. If you just buy rumbles from a rumble pack and try and get stuff to fit, excuse me, it can take a little bit of a longer time. But yeah, you can buy VSTs that do this as well, or you can do it your own on your own. But this was like a Patcher preset with a wet and a dry. And what was in it? A delay, a reverb, a convolution reverb, and a delay that was filtered down. A sidewinder, so a widening stereo widener, but to narrow it. So this is to narrow, keep the bass narrow and tight, because you want a good tight bottom end, don't you, Richie? And then like the top of that kind of like being able to come out, but like in the sub frequencies, keeping it quite narrow. A shaper box was on there as well, just to kind of get like the ducking of it. But yeah, it's and then I think I put 2 more layers on it as well. Anyway, I'll stop talking about it and I'll show it you. Oh, the other thing as well is I was adding I wanted to put guitar sounds in it, so I've like got some guitar sounds off Les from Lab 4. I was like, listen mate, you got any decent guitar sounds, like a guitar sample pack? He's like, yes, of course I have. So he sent me loads. And then I just like processed them like mentally by like time stretching them, comb filters, like automated a comb filter through one, using like some weird echoey things, pitch bending them, then rendering them down, texturizing them, and then like getting them to be like part of the soundscape of the track. So here we go. It's called The Source. That's not the sauce as in like tomato sauce. This is the source as in like, you know, like where something came from. Okay, here we go. Where's my... Hang on. Why can't I put the... Oh, there it is. Still quite low because I've just literally rendered this from my DAW, so I'm just going to put a limiter on it. Thank you, Lemmy Q. Thank you. And thank you for resubscribing, mate. I really appreciate you. Thank you. So yeah, that's the source. It's not finished yet. It's getting there. I'll probably do another mix down. And then again, it will sound different once it's mastered as well. Still quite low in volume at the moment. But yeah, it's do you know what I love about one of the things I love the most about making music? Because everyone's got the things that are like, oh God, effort. And then there's certain aspects of it that you really do enjoy. Hello, M Series. So one of the things that I really enjoy doing is shaping all my drum sounds. I'll spend quite a long time, quite happily, just shaping the sounds, layering, getting everything to kind of fit nicely with each other sonically, so that it all sounds like one piece. You know, like with my kick drums, minimum 2 layers, usually 3. The third layer being like a very short hi-hat or something to get that click. And then I really enjoy the process of finding the best way to get them all to fit, like by using maybe like a pitch envelope or multiplier, pitching stuff down or up, polarity, flipping the polarity of the waveform. Sometimes that can be the difference between things kind of like falling flat and then like things locking in really nicely. I really enjoy that process of going through all of the different like ways that you can get things to fit with each other. Volume envelopes, filter envelopes. The list is endless. But there's a really cool VST that I've started to use a bit more now. And I told this to one of my music production students on Friday last week. It's called Interloper. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Interloper is amazing because it takes a lot of the guesswork out of the layering of your sound. So you've got like an A side and a B side. You can mix as much as you want from one to the other. Then it's got its own effects on there. You know, all the stuff that you'd need, compression, EQ, reverb. And then you can mix, it's all multi-band as well. And then it's got a really cool AI section in it. So it will generate, like if you're making a kick drum, for example, you've got a kick drum from your sample pack, then you can ask it to generate a kick drum for the other side. And then you can sometimes come up with some really cool little layers to use in your for like your kick or your hi-hats or whatever it is. So yeah, that's the song. Next up, we've got PaperKrayne. Oh, follow me on SoundCloud as well, please, if you're not already. If you're not, then I'll scream. Go and follow me, please. Thank you. Okay, next up is PaperKrayne. And we've got a track by Paper. You mean no? Hey! Wait! Whoosh. Go and follow me now. I'm not going to scream. I wouldn't waste my breath. Actually. Okay, here we go. babe, I love this. This is so cool. Have you made this yourself? This is awesome. Or did you have like an engineer? I love this for you. This is so, so cool. It was really different to the, yeah, I knew you were going to say that, and I really, really like this for you. I'm really glad that you're starting to do, yeah, your own stuff. This is where it starts, so babe. This is exactly where it starts. Like, all of the pieces are there. You're a very good DJ, and the great thing about being a DJ as well as producing is being a DJ, you need to understand beats, bars, and phrases. Sorry, my stupid camera has decided to go and do the weird focus thing. Do you remember how I did it last time? Do you remember I had like a massive hissy fit about it? Do you remember? There was like a little... Do you remember I got really, really mad at it? Not like proper mad, just like, it was more like drama llama, Amber D. But it was funny. And now I'm going to remember where there's a tiny little button somewhere. There it is. Ah, I found it. I remembered. Yes, fuck you. There we go. So yeah, as I was saying, you're already a really good DJ. And the great thing about being a good DJ is when you start to learn music production, you do already understand beats, bars, and phrases. You naturally have that. And you'll be thinking about it in those terms. Even if you're not aware that you will be subconsciously. Everything sounded like it made sense arrangement-wise. One of the things that I would recommend is that you just have like it in the back of your head to every because it's slower. I'm going to say every 8 bars have something come in or have something taken out back. DJ Paolo wants to collaborate. Can I block him? I'm blocking him now. Cough. Honestly, it's so distracting. It doesn't take much to distract me, so it really pisses me off because I'm trying to like talk and help people, and DJ Paolo is trying to get me to like is someone stuck down a well? Like, what's going on? So every 8 bars, I want you to think about having something come in and then something being taken away. And even then, it doesn't always need to be something new being taken, something new being introduced every time. You've got some really good ideas in here. So I just want to go back and have a quick listen because it was around about... Yeah, this is all good. This bit here, this is like your crescendo bit. So what you could add in somewhere like here is you could slowly have like the delay of have that delay like getting increasing, or the release of something. No, you can say, she's just said there, the hook might have been in there too long. It's fine. The hook, you like that, and that's why you wanted to keep it in. So all you need to think about is to keep it interesting for the listener. So we just add some movement to it. Yeah, or very long LFOs. Absolutely. Sharp objects. You've read my mind. So that would be another way that you could... what are you using? Using Ableton, FL Studio? Gated bits would be fantastic. because what you're doing is FL Studio. Okay, so in FL Studio, in the automation clip lane, there is actually a really handy LFO section in there where you can just add an LFO and like just have it linked up to a filter cutoff, or you could even add a bandpass EQ, a separate EQ of Pro EQ, or if you've just got FL Studio native, the native plugins, then you could just use Fruity EQ. I think for Fruity EQ too, you just need a little band pass, like a little bell shape, little band pass, and then you can automate that band pass to just sweep through the frequencies along the top, and you can have it halfway, so half wet and half dry, so it's not too overbearing. And then that would be that would mean it would give it a little bit of room, and you wouldn't need to have that all the way through. You could automate that coming in, you know, maybe on bar 16 or 16+8 or whatever. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people in the chat will have some ideas of how you can create movement, interest, without having to add more things all of the time. Because if you like that bit, then absolutely you'll be able to evolve that even further and take that even further. Even as simple as adding something similar, doing the same pattern but one octave above to come in, maybe more of a shimmery, light, airy, kind of a plinky plonky piano over the top of that. I was worried about overdoing it because I do that sometimes. Yeah. Who else has overdone it on a song they've made? Yeah. But you've got to. The good thing about overdoing it is if you've got too many ideas, and you just pick the ones that are the best. You know? That's completely normal. You know, like in the beginning, you will overdo reverb. You'll put sausage fattener on everything because it sounds mint. You know, and then you'll stop doing that. You'll push into a limiter, and then you'll decide that won't be. It's fine to do all of the things. Whatever anyone tells you not to do, please do it and find out for yourself. So, I mean, I will say it. There was a person who, I wouldn't say I've ever followed them, but someone that's like an Instagram and YouTube music production guru called Streaky. And I always had a bit of it. I mean, I'm sorry, Streaky, if you're watching this, but I'm sure that there are many things that you've said that are true, but there's a lot of things that he said that I didn't really agree with. And those things are really, it's the attitude of this is the only way, or this is the best way. Don't do it that way. Do it my way. Otherwise, it's not going to sound good. I don't like hearing people who are supposed to be helping you with music production give ultimatums in that way. I think especially for someone like my friend PaperKrayne, I think that this is a time where you're just coming into making your own music, and it's a very vulnerable place to be in, and you could be quite easily swayed by the things that are said online. And you not knowing a lot right now can listen to someone like that and think that they know what they're talking about. You know, like how with older people, this isn't all older people, I'm an older person myself, but no, like if you met someone who's got no idea how computers work, but you know how to get around control panel and like the BIOS and things, and they see you go into the BIOS for the first time and they're like, oh yeah, you know, my mate John, he knows what he's doing with computers. Oh, he'll fix your computer if you like. Do you want his number? You know, like those kind of people. And they're like, no, but John's really not very good at computers at all. Yeah, oh, well, he fixed mine for me. He put Windows 8 on it. He put Windows Vista on my computer. He updated it. You know what I mean? And it's like, no. You can tell this has happened to me, can't you? So it's kind of like that. You will trust someone when you're not really sure of something. Like if it's seemingly that someone knows more than you in something, you can end up like listening to that, and I don't want that for you. So yeah, and open up command logs doing stuff. Yeah. You can trust me, PaperKrayne, and I can trust that you can trust me because I will never give ultimatums. That was an ultimatum. I will never give an ultimatum like you should always do it blah, blah, blah way and not this way, because I think you understanding it from your own personal experience is extremely important. So it's all very well, like I live with a musical genius, and I wouldn't say that it's ever really propelled my knowledge in music production, because all that ever happened was I just had more things that I had to explore to know for myself. In fact, it would have been a bit easier if I didn't live with a musical genius, because I probably wouldn't have delved into so many things and found so many things out. But that is the case with my learning. Is even my point is, even if you live with someone who is very well versed in making music, you still need to do this for yourself. You need to go and A/B stuff all the time, do things your own way, because there's so many ways that you can go and do stuff. Hello, HeadzUp. There's so many ways that you can do the same thing as someone else, but just in a different way. You know, one of the examples would be sidechaining the kick and bass. Some people would swear by using a ghost note kick. Other people would swear by using an LFO tool or kick start or duck. Other people would swear by using a compressor with a sidechain compressor with a trigger in Ableton, you know, or some people would use FL Studio envelope. What would you do in FL Studio? Heads up, I'm just trying to think now. What's the name of it? There's two ways that you do it, isn't there? It's fruity. It's not envelope, is it? I can't even remember what it's called now. Fruity limiter, and then you would link that up to a utility. Yeah, peak controller. Thank you, peak controller. Ghost note triggering with peak controller. Oh my god, I've not even tried that. See what I mean? See, I'd use peak controller, but I would link it up to a fruity volume knob and do it that way. I've never thought about doing it with a ghost note triggering with peak controller. But yeah, exactly. There's all of those different ways that you can link your kick to your bass. None of them are really better than the others. I mean, even saying that, that's probably not true. There are some ways that are a little bit better. But you've got to find that out for yourself. I have at least 4 ways I sidechain kicks depending on the track. One thing I would actually swear by is MIDI triggering the duck rather than audio. If you're doing drum and bass, as MIDI is faster than sound responding. Ooh. Interesting. MIDI is faster than sound responding. I guess you could be more accurate with it, because if you've got a sound that it's responding to, it's got to respond to like the first transient. So I get what you say. I think what you'll find is if you're doing it via a MIDI note, you could be more accurate with it in those terms. But yeah, if that's a way that's worked for you, that's awesome. And that makes sense to me, yeah. Twiddle your fruity knobs, says Richie. Yeah, audio triggering with Kickstart is my favourite way now, because the plugin shows the trigger and the affected audio visually, so you can keep phasing to a minimum. Nice. Digital Industries is in. Hello, mate. Another amazing producer. Yeah, do you know, I've never really thought of that. And the other thing that's good for is if you double kick something. If, for example, you're using shaper box on a quarter note sidechain, but then you do like kick rolls or a double kick at the end of 8 bars or 16 bars, it's gonna cut through that, isn't it? So yes, that would be a way that, yes, there are some ways of sidechaining which are going to be more superior to this, but we're just talking about the kick and bass there. You could definitely one of the things that I've been really enjoying again recently is something I completely feel it's quite. If you've been making music for a while, you'll know about this anyway. But multi-band sidechaining. So, like, I even wrote a little post about it the other day. Just using Shaperbox again, and Shaperbox gives you 3 bands, and I just completely forgot about it. So I was just trying to like balance like a pad sound, for example. I've got a long pad, and I'm trying to get a little bit of like a bit of push, you know, on a quarter note. And then I'm like, oh no, that's too obvious. So then I'm bringing down the amount to like 60, 70%. And then Guy walks in and he's like, why don't you do that? Why don't you use a multiband? I'm like, oh, fucking hell, forgot all about multiband sidechaining. Like, because there's so many things you learn. You forget stuff all the time. So I was like, shit, this is brilliant. So now I can pump the mids and the lows, but I can leave the tops completely free of brother. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And again, going back to what I said about going into your old projects, sometimes it can be really good to do that, because there's going to be little techniques and things that you did that you've forgotten about and you stop doing it. It's the same with anything. If you're not utilizing that thing in your brain, if you're not doing that thing, you are going to forget about it. So yeah, I'm trying to look through. People who started with Amigas used to use little volume events to duck the bass for kick and snare, or for kick. Where there's a way, where there's a will. Yeah, exactly. I think sidechaining is such a great thing to be able to do. Definitely, Danny, 100%. But yeah, experiment, PaperKrayne, have fun with it. As Digital Industries has just said there, it's really important that you do, and try to take things that people say on the internet, me included, with a pinch of salt. Love you. Next up, we've got the Ruff Mate and Caméléonx, and this is D.T.T.M, and I don't know what that stands for, but maybe the Ruff Mate can tell us. Love you, PaperKrayne. Very nice ending as well there. A lot of attention to detail has been put into this track. So the Ruff mate said that they started this, when was it, 2024? And you've gone back to it and it's missing something, but you don't know what. I completely relate to that. Sometimes it can just be that it's done and you might not know that. But one thing I would ask is if you've looked at it in span and just checked the overall shape of the track. You're looking for kind of like a bit of a smile kind of a shape. I have an inkling. I'm gonna put a little thing out there. I reckon what's missing in this, if there's anything missing in it, is a bit of mid information, a bit of mids, low mids. You've got some sub information in there, and there is a bass in there which is really nice, but it's very low back and it's very subby. But it's not subby in a muddy kind of subby. It's there, but you've set it back. So number one thing would be maybe try and bring up the volume of the sub of the bass a little bit. You just rely on ear. Oh, that's perfectly fine. I'm relying on my ears to say this, but sometimes it can be a bit of confirmation just to put span. Voxelengo span is completely free. You can download it, pop it on the end of your. Don't say that. That's stupid. Knob. Pop it on the end of your knob. No, don't do that. Pop it on the end of your master channel. That's probably a better thing to do. Do what I said to begin with. That's silly. Unmasking is exhausting. It's so exhausting. I'm sorry. Span is it's a third-party plugin. Put it on your master's knob. There you go. You can. I'm going to give you the link now because it's very, 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 very useful. Just to oh, here we go. It's on Splice plugin file. I'm sorry about the length of that link. It is working now. It's download. It's done the full length link. Yeah, Span is amazing. Yeah, if you just go and download it, it will just show you. The other thing it's good for is phase correlation. So it'll have a little meter down the bottom and it will show you if anything's out of phase. So you want it to be between 0 and 1 that way, not going to the left. So to the right, but not. Or if it is going to the left, not very often. And then that will, it's just going to confirm to you, if there's any issues in the sound design stuff. But I've got a feeling that when you look at it, it probably won't look like a smile. It'll probably look more like as a bit of a dip in your mids to low mids. So to counteract that, if you feel there's something missing from this track, I would do a layer of that bass. I would layer it up with something a little bit higher up. Something maybe a bit more. You could even give it a bit of like stereo width, really, because you've got your bass, your low and your subby. So this could be more of something that's a bit more. Doesn't really need to be massively solid, but it's just going to fit in that frequency range. This is just an idea. It might work, it might not. It might be too much, but I think that is probably what you're referring to when you feel something's missing from there, because that bass is very, very low. Wilson Serrano's here. Hello. Thank you. Buttery biscuit bass, exactly, Richie. So give that a go. But I think that this is a great track. Yeah, Yeah, you've put so much work into that. Like all of your little glitches, the sound design. I really like the detuned piano. That ARP piano. I like all of the kind of detunedy, texturized bits in this as well. Yeah, really nice. Really, really nice. But you might find, I think you should try, try maybe looking at with Span, look at it, see if you can pop in a layer for the bass. But at least if you try and it doesn't sound better, then it's probably fine. It's probably ready to go. So, but yeah, sometimes we won't always be the best judges of whether something is, done or not. That's what we're here for. Yay! Sending it in, mate. Next up is Pete.M. And this is a track called Boron. There we go. That is Pete.M and Boron. I really like this. I like the vocal, and I like the techie aspects to it. It's like that kind of like halfway point between hard house and techno, and maybe even melodic techno as well. The sound choices were great. I really liked it. It's there's nothing sticking out to me that's sounding off or out of place. The arrangement's great. Use of automation. Yeah, it's so well balanced as well. Everything is like in its correct place. Yeah, really well mixed down as well. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say, which is a good thing sometimes. You know, when I don't have much to say, that's got to be good for everybody concerned, really, hasn't it? Hello to Control 4. No, you haven't missed your one. We haven't played your one yet. I'm really looking forward to everyone hearing your latest one, mate, because I had a little sneak listen to it earlier, and it's awesome. So yeah. 6 months this one took you. Yeah, it's like that though sometimes, isn't it? We were just talking earlier about, you know, what it's like to go back into old projects and see the way that you used to work on things. So sometimes it can even be more like difficult than starting a whole new track by going back and kind of like working out all the plugins. Some of the plugins you don't have anymore, so you've got to reinstall them, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and that's kind of an interesting... Fahiz says, I have tracks from 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Do you know what's really interesting as well about that? When you've been doing this for a long time, there's going to be projects that eventually just will not load up anymore because of the way that computers work. And like, has anyone, I've had it recently. I was trying to open up, not even that old a project, maybe just 5 years ago. And every single time it tried to load up, my computer would green screen. So I went into Event Viewer, and you know, just to check out what it was. And then what I've whittled it down to is something has got an old, obsolete driver that is now, you know, it's something that it's nothing that I can like. Maybe I could, yeah. Maybe there's a driver update that I could find on like Wayback Machine or something. I don't know, but. Yeah, it is annoying, but what it alerted me to, and I remember reading up on something to do with this as part of my research in my master's about, you know, we don't really think about this now, but you remember when you started, like my first tunes that I made were on floppy disk, and I had to like save it over 2 floppy disks. That would have been like on eBay. I was going to say, you remember eBay, EJ, Dance EJ, and you know, at that point, like now, how are you going to load those things up? You know, and the same can be said for stuff these days as well. Like at the moment, we use computers with a QWERTY keyboard, right? What if that's not what we're going to be using? What if operating systems change drastically in the next 20 years? Think about it. Like we're not going to be able to backwards compatibilize our music. You know what I mean? So I think about this quite a bit. So what are we supposed to do? I don't know. Maybe I should ask Claude. Claude will know what to do. Oh. Yeah, I don't really have an answer for that. But yeah, it is something that but it makes me think to myself, do you know what I'm going to do from now on is I'm going to make sure I render down everything from my past projects as an audio stem, just so I've got something there, even if things aren't going to like completely load up properly. Just for FYI, sometimes my 9-year-old types, so don't mind. Ah, so sweet. Aww. Okay. Next up, Lemonchill, and this is Pagan. Thank you for sending this in. Lizzie and One, aka Lemonchill. Oh, I think this is my favourite one now of yours, and I've said that a few times. So good. So good. It's like ASMR. Yeah, it's an almost tribal feel. Exactly, Pete. Yeah. It was sending me off on a bit of a journey as well. Like that could have easily gone on and on and on and on. I'd live an extended mix of that. Really, really nice. So Lemonchill just said the entire track was built based on the chanting vocals after I randomly heard it. Yeah, you just get an idea, don't you? When you hear something, you're like, oh, that'll work. And you just know. I'm so happy for you. Hello, Harley. Hi. Happy birthday for yesterday. I'm in awe of that. I just think that it was fantastic. So well put together. A lot of movement in there. You're not afraid of panning things and, using ideas. Your choice of synth noises as well was really nice. It was very reminded me of the electro from 2006 sort of era. Nothing too preset-y in terms of too much production on their super saws and stuff. This was really nice, simple sound design. And I liked it. Lots of layers, lots of delay and, just shimmer and stuff just kind of having its own space as well. There was almost nothing predictable about it, but in the best way. Yes, but it still makes musical sense as well. Okay, PaperKrayne, I hope you're having toast. Love you. Awesome tune. Thank you for sending it in. And guys, please follow the link at the top of the chat. Go and follow Lemonchill. Girl, I'm going to butter your bread. Next up, J.S.J. And this is Best Friend.
To try. Heart is always aching, giving up this fight. Breath on my neck, then a cold goodbye. Dancing to the moon just to feel the light. Reaching for a you that is out of sight. Growing older was always going to be so heavy on my chest when you're not with me. We were you left my side. I still save you a space in this tangled mind. Let's dance together, just you and me. In every faded dream, you're still next to me. behind. Time moves on, but it leaves you in my mind. Dancing to the moon just to feel the light. Reaching for a you that is out of sight. Growing older was always gonna be so heavy on my chest when you're not with me. We were best friends till you left my side. I still save you a space in this tangled mind. Let's dance together, just you and me. In every faded dream, you're still next to me.
That is J.S.J, Best Friend. Downloading something. I put that. Yeah, I really like this. It is I love well-made bounce music. Well-made bounce music will always have a place in my heart. It was very uplifting. That vocal was great as well. And yeah, so what HeadzUp is saying, I will completely mirror that. I really like the bass on that, and that trancey style was a nice change of pace. Absolutely. I like to call it trance and donk. It was reminiscent. I think it was Campbell had a track last week where instead of it just being like frap donk, which is great, you know, having a bit of melody and a bit of a story and that delicateness, you know, with the vocal, and then you've got the trance kind of question and answer. You've got your vocal in there, and then when the vocal's not playing, we've got this amazing riff. And I think that was they complemented each other very well. It's rare in the wild is Tronk. It's lovely though. Yes. It reminds me quite a bit of Kenny Hayes as well. His style of making music. I've made a track with him before. He's so quick, you know, at making music. So quick. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. And please keep sending them in. So yeah, that's Jordan Jenkins. Only 6 months experience on and off over a year or two. What? That's mental. I'm so happy for you. Which DAW are you using? And also, what synth are you using for the pluck? That's what I'd like to know. It was really nice. A really nice sound. That's fantastic if you've been doing it for around 6 months. I think brilliant. Some people just get it. Some people are just able to, you know, knuckle down and, you know, focus on the actual art itself. FL Studio, Serum, yep. You're using Silent, okay, cool. So yeah, I've actually recently started to use Serum a lot more, Serum 2, after being very happy with Avenger for a long time. I never use Silent anymore, but I might go back to it because I have so many sound banks for it. But people do say it's kind of outdated, but I guess really it depends what sort of music you're making. So, but yeah, Serum is amazing. It's got a lot of routing abilities as well. So yeah. What's Lethal? I don't think I've heard of that. Is it an old one? Sounds deadly. Yeah, I've never heard of that. I've just tried to go onto the website though, and it won't let me. Free download. What? Why haven't I heard of this? It's a Rompler. Nice. Oh, I'm definitely getting it. If this has got anything to do with Alex K, then definitely. Wow. Yeah, their main website isn't working at the moment. Would you put that over Nexus as being a better Rompler than Nexus? Romplers are fantastic because they kind of like help take the guesswork out of things a lot more. So it's like not as like in depth as as the synthesis can be when you're making a track from scratch yourself. But yeah, best Rompler I've tried is Avenger. Would you consider Avenger a Rompler? I don't think I would consider Avenger a Rompler. Nexus definitely, but Avenger you've definitely got a lot more control over it. No, it's not a Rompler. But Nexus, what are we on now? We're on Nexus 5, aren't we? Yeah, in its presets. Yeah, I completely get where you're coming from, Control 4. Yeah, it's got some amazing sound bank. What do they call it? Expansion packs. Yeah, I can see why you would think of it in that way. It has got a lot of the sequences and stuff. Yeah, they are really, really cool. Awesome. Yeah, I still love Avenger a lot, but I'm going to try this one out, especially if it is endorsed by the amazing HeadzUp. Get it down. How have I never heard of this before? You download. Do that later. Don't just remind me so that I don't forget. So it's for Windows and it's for Mac as well, which is. I just got to check out what I'm downloading at the moment because their main site isn't working. I'm trying to get it off a third-party website, and I might give myself an STD. Next up, my demo drop file. Here we go. Hang on. Oh, so you've done a track with Ryan T. Heads up. See. Why won't you do it? Hang on. There we go. Okay. So we'll put heads up on now because otherwise I'm going to forget to put you in. Another person who's very good at making bounce music is HeadzUp, and we're going to play your one next. But mate, if you are only 6 months in and you're making music like that, please, 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 please keep it up. I'm so proud of you. I think that it's amazing. Oh no, I was going to do Control 4. I'm going to do Control 4 first because I did say I would do that already, and then we'll listen to HeadzUp. There we go. You're very welcome, mate. Hello, UK Dave London. How are you doing? Hi. Hello, lovelies yourself. What you been up to, huh? It's my birthday tomorrow, mate. I know. 21 again. Eat. You're just in time to listen to Control 4. Here we go.
We don't question where the cosmos came from. Yet we demand to know where we're going. The universe was never meant to be understood, only experienced. We searched the stars for answers, but the signal was always inside. Before time had a name, we were already energy.
So that is Control for Awaken. Wow. Wow. What a journey. What a journey. So, so, so good. Yeah, so many questions. So, yeah, it was the sound design and the attention to detail. So, so awesome. I mean, I don't expect anything less from you, Control 4, to be quite honest, but it's a joy to listen to. I am just glad kick and bass register this time. Yeah, they do a bit. I think that bit's sorted out. I think you're fine. I think your kick and bass is very good. Yeah. It was fun to listen to, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, really, really great. I like the vocal in there as well. There's a lot of parts to it. It evolved quite well. I think it was over 9 minutes long as well. But it didn't feel like it. You know, it was taking us on a journey, and sometimes you can't whittle that down. Okay. I don't think you should worry about that, Control 4. You could probably get it down, you know, arrangement wise, but it didn't feel like it dragged. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you wanted to put this into, you know, something which would be more suitable for a record label or whatever, you probably could, but I wouldn't like sweat about that. Yeah. Can you just play that last 1 minute? Very cool. Yeah, well done, mate. I really thought that was awesome. I thought it was a great ending as well. With Psytrance, you have those really cool like intros and outros as well. Yeah, brilliant. Keep it up, mate. And guys, make sure you give Control 4 a follow. He also streams here on Twitch and gives really helpful advice to those of you that want help with your life and music production. There we go. Covering all bases. Next up, Ryan T and HeadzUp, and this is Language.
When
stupidly good. Oh, I have the best friends ever. You guys are so talented. There we go. That is HeadzUp. Please go and give HeadzUp a follow. I'd like to call this mature donk. It's very grown up. It's very well produced. I call it scatter donk as well. All of like the reverse donkey bits and the big reverbs on them, and then you got like the very upfront transient of it. It sounds very clean as well, but then you got like this great reverb, the wetness of it in the back. I don't know if you've done that through like having like one version of it completely dry and then having one version of it completely wet and then mixing between the two just to have more control over it, or I don't know, maybe adding some pre-delay to a reverb so that it doesn't get to that first bit of the transient. Maybe you'll say in the chat how you've done that. But yeah, I just found those donks to be really nice, really clear. Really nice. What reverb are you using for that, please? Tell me. Are you putting like a click on the top of it? Is that layered? Is it all one fucking sound? What is it? Is it the, what's it called? Alan Aztec donk machine? There's 4 donks on it, but each one has a different tonality. There's a brick wall EQ to force everything back to the center of the mix. I love you. Nice. I love that for you. See, there's a million ways how to do your donk. Quad donks, exactly. Wow. Okay, knowing that now, let me do it. And I love how your bass line is following that as well. This is something that you don't usually find in traditional donk music. Is it doesn't really have a bass line underneath the donks, because usually the donks are the bass line. Or in fact, donk doesn't really have sub. But you do in this, and I think that is what carries it as well and gives it that extra sense of depth. I like that. Have you done that in the main part as well? Yeah, you have. Yeah, I like that. I think it gives it a bit more, I think that it helps it to stand up with other genres of music as well, if you're mixing all of in and out of different genres as well. All my donks have always have everything up to 100 hertz carved out, and then I put the sub in for weight. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And it sounds really, really nice as well. It sounds very clean. Yeah, I love that effect. I love your approach to doing that. So yeah, thank you for letting us know as well. That's awesome. Love you, mate. Thank you for sending it in. And as a personal note, it's really good to see you making music again. So I'm really happy to see you doing your thing. Of wanking. Do your thing. Stop fornicating your private parts. Can everyone just stop it? Just do the thing. Please stop wanking your life away. Stop wanking life away. Start wipe your hands first, clean yourself up, and then go to your computer. Don't look up porn. Instead, open up your DAW, make a song. There we go. Top tip from me. Next, Sam Gifford. This is a track called Paradise. And you might find Harley, you could be right there. You might find some that's donk related. I don't know. It's not something that I'm frequenting, to be quite honest with you, on account of the fact I'm so busy with other things. So you do that. You do you. Sam Gifford, Paradise. This is the quick mastered version that you sent me, Donkey Boy. Stop it. You're going to get me cancelled. I didn't even know what you'd written till I said it. We said it without the E. Yes. Oh my God. I'm going to hell. So yeah, Sam has asked me to master this track. So the one that I'm going to be playing today is like a quick master that he sent over. I'm going to be doing a master for him. Already mastered a couple of tunes of his as well recently, which I just love your stuff, Sam, and it's a very easy process with your stuff because it's so well made anyway. There's not really a lot of correcting things that you need to do, and that's what you want really when you're sending stuff over to be mastered. You don't want anything that you can fix in the mix before sending it over to a mastering engineer, the better. Just do it your end first. Don't expect the masterer to do it. I mean, they can, but you end up sacrificing something for not fixing it your own end. But yeah, that's something that I've really found helpful about Sam's stuff. Is it's been a nice easy process to mix to master your stuff because it's so well mixed. So here we go. This is Paradise.
Through the night, want you to keep me close. Let me be yours. Just one look in your eyes, I see it all. I wanna fall in love tonight. I don't care if it's wrong or right. Take me with you, alright. Don't let me go. I want you so, baby. Can you hold me one more time? Send me into overdrive. Your love only gets me high. I think I found my paradise. Hold me one more time. Send me into overdrive. Your love only gets me high. I think I found my paradise. Losing control in your arms, it's where I feel alive. Closer to the sky, just one kiss, you got me hooked. I want it all, I wanna fall in love tonight. I don't care if it's wrong or right. Take me with you, alright. Don't let me go, I want you so. Baby, can you hold me one more time? Send me into overdrive. Your love only gets me high. I think I found my paradise. Hold me one more time. Send me into overdrive. Your love only gets me high. I think I found my paradise.
absolutely adore this tune. Well done, mate. Sam Gifford and Paradise. Great vocal. Really, really well mixed down. I love the pads and the leads. The arrangement, perfect. And well balanced. Nice arps. Through the nights, I see it all. There's a lot of areas, there's a lot of sections to this. There's a lot of work that's gone into it. And you've not overcooked it either. I think that you've done amazing. Yeah, it's very professional sounding. Let the vocal do the heavy work with this, but you also haven't allowed the vocal to do the heavy lifting and not pay attention to the other details. Because sometimes that can, you know, if we've got a good vocal and we slap it on over the top of stuff, it can cover a lot of the holes, because it kind of like that's where the attention's going. But I can tell you probably spent quite a bit of time with that vocal muted in order to get the rest of it mixed down and, you know, got everything with having its own place and stuff. Yeah, it's really, really well done, really well put together. And GTSYNC says, I'd buy it. I'd buy it too. It's great. And soon you're going to have an Amber D master of it. Yay! I know exactly what I'm going to be doing with this as well. Kick and bass relationship is great. All your little ad-libby bits, introduction of the vocal as well. Nice reverse reverbs in there. You know, you've put a lot of work into this. Really, really good. I'm very, very proud of you. Keep up the good work, mate. Next up, we've got GTSYNC, and this is Give Them What They Want.
You look pissed, Ben. That's all that counts. We give them what they want.
I'm going to give the audience what I think they want.
You look pissed, Ben. That's all that counts. We give them what they want.
I'm going to give the audience what I think they want.
You look pissed, Ben. That's all that counts. We give them what they want.
I'm going to give the audience what I think they want.
You look pissed, Ben.
I'm going to give the audience what I think they want.
You look pissed, Ben. That's all that counts. We give them what they want.
Oh, wow. So a little synopsis that GTSYNC's put on here is, as part of my journey into production, this one took more effort, taking samples out of the film The Running Man. I created this banger. At 140 BPM and just short of 5 minutes long, this was the most fun I've ever had creating anything. Must have taken me 8 hours. Was up all night through to about 5:30 a.m. the following morning making this. Completely relate to that. Could barely keep my eyes open in the end, but it was so worth it. It's kind of funny, but if I dare say so myself, it bangs. Yeah, and I would agree. Definitely does. And to think that this is a, you're a noob, a beginner, at music production. I think that this is something that you should be very, very proud of. And I'm really surprised it only took you 8 hours. I wish stuff would only take me 8 hours. Jesus. I spend so much time over things, probably a little bit too much time sometimes. One thing I would recommend, though, I mean, in the early days, absolutely, you'll stay up all night making music because you get that dopamine hit so much more when you first start making music. And that will stay there, but it does kind of like diminish a little bit. But one of the things that you recognise is your ears do need to have a bit of a break. And something that I can hear in that track that does sound technically like an issue. And it makes sense now that I've read that and that you did this all in one go. Because you do suffer from something after maybe even an hour, you'll even less than that on some things. If you're really paying attention to certain stuff, especially when dealing with like compression, anything that requires very deep listening, you'll encounter something called ear fatigue. And around about 3 minutes 30 in, you do have a bit of distorting that happens in the track. And that is most likely because, number one, you probably haven't heard it because you would have just been in the moment with it. And it was at a point where everything had come in. It's a very normal thing to happen. So either you've just pushed everything a little bit too far and everything's been ended up clipping at that point where everything is in, or you've got or afterwards you've limited it and it's just kind of clipped and distorted in that area. A little bit where you've just pushed it a little bit too much. So if you go back to it at around about the 3 minutes 30 mark, you'll hear a little bit of distortion. Let me see if I can just go back to it now and you'll hear it. It's only subtle. Gets a bit crunchy at that point, and it makes sense that would be where it was because it's at the highest point of the waveform as well. So again, this is a reason why after you've been once you've been producing for a long time, you'll learn to come back to it the next day. Go and get some sleep, let your ears rest, give yourself some space between you and your work. Hello to Dino, by the way. And then you'll be able to come back on fresh ears and you'll hear stuff like that a lot more the more you get used to listening deeply, but it's not always something that's obvious straight away. Yeah, you can hear the crackles now. You were drunk on giddiness, and I don't want to take that away from you because trust me, it doesn't last. It doesn't last, not without drugs. So if you want to, just enjoy that sense of like, oh yeah, I just want to keep going and doing this, in this, be in this bubble for a little bit longer. Enjoy it while you can, but just remember to go back to it after maybe a few days and, just double check your work, listen to it. Listen to it without looking at it on the screen as well. So once you've rendered it down before you do any limiting, don't have a limiter on your master when you do this as well, and try and keep everything underneath 0 dB. They say, like mix to minus 6 dB on your kick and your bass, and then everything else will kind of fall underneath that. Not imperative that it's minus 6 dB. Some people go even lower than that. Some people go around -3, but yeah, it's completely up to you. But just make sure you're not clipping over that 0 point. Very important. But yeah, all of that is to say that's a normal way of learning. Everyone that is a music producer has gone through that. So it's not like you're doing anything wrong either. You're literally learning right now, and it's really important that you have tracks where you make those kinds of mistakes. And I put that in air quotes because that's the only way you'll ever learn is through experience of overdoing something, and then you get to be able to bring it back. And so it's actually really important that you do overdo it. Uline loudest meter, yes. Yeah, I use that on my master chain actually to just double check things. So yeah, that's a really, really good shout there. Awesome. And yeah, so going further to that, I think you've got your little vocal that you're using.
Ask them what they want.
That give them what they want, and all at first I was like, oh, you've done it like loads of times. You've said it over and over again, and it was saying it a bit too many times. But then I kind of liked that. I kind of liked the fact that it was being overused. So I don't know whether I don't even want to like suggest taking any of them out or whatever. Do you know what you could do with it though? What you could do is start to add some effects to that vocal sample throughout the track. So start washing it out maybe with like some dub delay, or mess it up, change the formant of it, pitch it up, pitch it down, just so it's not so static and stuck on, and so it's kind of like evolving with the rest of it. You'd be able to find some really cool ways to just change that vocal up as you evolve throughout the rest of the track. I think that would be quite cool. But again, that's just subjective. There is something quite cool about the fact that it's quite abstract and it's just in your face and it's there and keeps repeating over and over again as well. But again, like the rest of your sound choices were really good as well. I think that you've done a really, really good job. So well done.